Today I'm going to be doing a video on 5 reasons I love my W124 Mercedes. This is my car. It's a 1988 W124. This is a 260E. So 88 was one of the first years of the W124 E-Class, and you can tell an early one from a later one by the siding. So you see on my car, it has this black strip, and then there's the body again, and then you've got the underneath. On the later cars, they have the Sacco panels because Bruno Sacco designed the car. In the later years, that's what they've nicknamed them. It's got the same front bumper as far as I know. It's just mine isn't painted. It's sort of this gray color, and the same on the rear, whereas on the later cars they tend to be paint matched, or they tend to be a complementary color. So it'll be like dark green on the top and a lighter green on the bottom, or it could be, you know, burgundy with like a red sort of on the bottom, if that makes sense. I'll put pictures up on the screen. But mine is one of the first years, which I didn't actually realize when I bought this car. There's also a facelift model. So mine has the like 190E style front end. It's what I call the square front end. And then you've got the facelift one, which has the hood that comes down like this on the newer models, and the grille is a part of the hood instead of being a separate like metal piece, if that makes sense. So this is the body style that I prefer. The early cars, I think that they are more aggressive looking, meaner looking. However, I've been told by some people that they prefer the later ones. Let's get on to the 5 reasons I love this car. Reason number 1, cost. This car is a very cheap car to buy. It's extremely affordable. Parts for it, I have experienced at least, been very affordable too. Nothing crazy expensive. I've not had to do anything except the carrier bushing, and that was because the previous owner neglected to do it. But other than that, I've not had to do a single thing on this car, and that wasn't that expensive. I think the part was maybe $100, and then labor to put it in was about 2 hours. So not a hard thing. And the cost, I paid $3,000 for this car, Canadian. Now I know that is below market. I got an insanely good deal because the guy really liked my YouTube channel and liked my 190E, so he wanted it to go to a good home. But these cars, you can pick them up for, you know, $5,000, $4,000, $7,000, depending on the condition, depending on the level of E-Class. So you can get a 260E, 300E, a 400E, a 420E, and a 500E is like the big daddy. That's the one built in collaboration with Porsche. So mine is one of the lower trims, as you can tell by the number, which means it has the inline 6 2.6, same as in a 190E. It's not a very fast car, but it is a cheap and affordable car to maintain and buy. Reason number 2 that I love my W124, the styling. I think this is one of the coolest looking cars of the 80s. And I think it's one of the coolest looking sedans of all time, at least in the era that I've sort of grown up in. I'm not counting cars earlier than the 1950s. So I think this is a beautiful car. I think it's fantastic value for the money. It's keeping up with highway speeds, it's cheap to maintain, and just look at it. I mean, it's so aggressive. Mine isn't the most aggressive one, I'll give you that. But lower this, put it on some wheels, you know, maybe paint match it, and this is a good looking car. Now, reason number 3 that I love my W124, the quality. This is from an era when Mercedes really put a lot of effort into the quality of their cars. I'm not saying they don't put effort into their cars today, but the quality you get in a modern Mercedes, and I don't know if you've, you know, put your fingers around it, but it's a little squeaky. Whereas this car, let me get in and show you, the quality has held up since 1988. We're now in 2025. And I mean, just the doors, listen, look, shuts flawlessly. The door handles, by the way, are extremely strong, good quality. The inside of this car, all right, quality wise, like, you know, this doesn't, I mean, there's a little bit of play, but for a car from the 1940s, this is better than a modern Mercedes that I get into, or BMW or Audi. So yeah, they just don't make them like this anymore with the quality. I mean, everything is just in great condition, and it shows the quality that they made these cars, the materials. Like I said, the only flaw in this interior is this rip right here and a little bit of cracking right there. I mean, this wood is immaculate. The dash is immaculate. And at least where I live, I'll find these cars that have been abandoned or neglected, rotting away. And half the time, no matter how bad the car is in terms of rust or engine is pulled out of it or whatever, it's been crashed, the interiors are almost always near perfect condition. Sometimes they'll have stains on them if they're cloth, but if they have this material, they are almost always flawless. This one, like I'm showing you, immaculate. And if you're thinking, oh, maybe it's a low mileage car, 260,000 kilometers on it. And the one thing is, the odometer is broken, so it could be a lot more than 260,000. I don't know, but I do know the history of this car. It was bought new in this city and it's been taken care of its entire life. Reason number 4 that I love my W124, reliability. This kind of brings it back to point number 1, but that was all about money and cost and value. Reliability. This car is one of the most reliable cars of all time. Now, if you get the V8 models, they're not as reliable. They're not famous for being reliable, but if you get one of the lower trim ones, it seems like the lower the displacement, almost the more reliable it gets. So the 260E seems to be, from what I've experienced, more reliable than a 300, which is more reliable than the 400, which is more reliable than the 500E. I know a few people that have the different models, and I seem to have the least, or one of the least amount of issues of anyone that I know. Some people I know with the 420, I think it is, and the 400s seem to have more issues, and I see them for sale more often with, oh, it needs work, it needs servicing. I think they're more expensive to maintain, but still, it's an incredibly reliable car in almost any engine you get. I don't know anyone that has a 500E that actually drives it, so I can't speak on the maintenance and reliability of the 500E. The only person I know that has one just sold it. So this one though, bulletproof reliability wise, like I said, it's got over 250,000 kilometers on it, and I've heard of these going up to 260,000. Let me just pop the hood for you guys. I'll show you underneath. I've heard of these going up to 500,000 kilometers, 1,000,000 kilometers even. This is sort of known as the German LS400. Now, it's not the only Mercedes of this era that's reliable. The 190E, in my experience, has been absolutely flawless. I also have one of those. The S-classes I've never owned, but I saw one in the junkyard recently and someone saved it, and I actually saw it driving around near where I live. So the era of Mercedes from the 80s and 90s, maybe the exception of the SLs, seem to be just flawless almost. If you take care of them, if you do the maintenance, and what I've experienced is even if you buy one that's ratty, beat up, you know, not been maintained, you do the maintenance on it, get the servicing out of the way immediately, shouldn't cost you more than $2,000 to do pretty much most of, if not everything. That's what it cost on my 190, and that car had been abused, and I mean like to the level where it was abused and the guy thought it was a junk car, gonna get rid of it. You do the maintenance and they're flawless. They'll run and run and run. My 190, absolutely abused. I've taken care of it and it's taken care of me. So this is the same engine that you can get in the 190 2.6. Now the fifth reason that I love this car, and the final reason, and my final chance to encourage you to buy one if you don't already have one of these, is just the experience of owning this car. It's a really cool car to drive. It's so comfortable. It's absolutely lovely. Like inside when you're driving, it's so quiet and so smooth and so refined. It genuinely feels like I'm in a modern luxury car. This has better quality and is a lot smoother and a lot quieter for a lot less money. And maintenance wise, this is gonna cost you probably less than a Camry. And I'm not kidding when I say that. Genuinely, they are one of the most reliable, best quality cars, cheapest cars, and coolest cars you can buy in 2025. Now I know the hardest part might be finding a good one. And when I say a good one, I mean one that's not completely rusted out, because they do rust, these cars. That is one negative I will say. This one was restored by the previous owner. He spent about $8,000. His front fenders were all rusted out. He got the whole front end of the car repainted. He put new old stock headlights in it, and he was a perfectionist. He actually wanted the US spec headlights because that's how the car left the factory, he told me, which I find a little bit crazy. I would have done the European ones, which are just the nice smooth ones, but that just goes to show how particular and perfectionist the previous owner was. So if you're looking to buy a W124, I cannot recommend it enough. I am actually going to be selling this one if it hasn't been sold by the time this video goes out. I am looking to get rid of it, not because of any of the reasons I just said, but because I just have too many cars. 6 cars right now that I'm trying to maintain and drive and work on and build all at the same time. Just want to make this video before I list it for sale to encourage anyone that might be looking at one of these, just do it. It's a great car, even if it needs work. If it's a 300e, if it's a 260e, I'd still recommend buying it as long as it's not too rusty, and just put a little bit of work into it. Guarantee it won't let you down. If you want to see my diesel G-Wagon, the cheapest in the world series, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more of my 190e Evo 2 replica. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Never ever quit.